Yo, what's good YouTube? Wesley Paul here back once again, and today, as said in the last video, I'm going to show you how to install progressions and also show you how to save a chord progression in the software correctly. So if you're downloading from a OneDrive, you just download it as normal, and then that folder that you've downloaded and it's gone into your download folder, you need to put into your progressions folder. So you find that folder by going into, if you're on Windows, you go to your C drive. Sorry, mouse is frozen a bit there. You go through your C drive, program files, Akai Pro. I'm going to do mine in MPC. And then you got your progressions folder. And then whatever you've downloaded, it goes in here. And then once it's in there, when you load up your software, you should be able to find it under your progressions. And that's basically how you install it into your software. So, in the last video, we made a quick chord progression. Yeah, let's just play to remember what it sounds like. Now, what I like to do when I'm working on a track and I put a chord progression together, I like to save that chord progression just so if I'm working on another sequence or another part of the track, I might want some variation and I might want to use the same chords that I've used. I might just rearrange them or change them slightly. So rather than having to always play them in again or do exactly what we had to do in the last video and do it that way, what I would do is I would save the progression and then just use that progression and then, to get variation, basically. But let me show you how to do it correctly. So you might know how to save a progression already, but let's have a look. So we go to the three lines, we go to tools, and then we go to convert to progression. Yeah. So I might have said this in a previous video, but the naming part is important as well. So let's just say I'm going to pull it into a YouTube folder. Just call it YT. So whatever you do first, I've done YT. So that would be the name of the folder, and then you do a dash, and then whatever you want to call the progression. So let's just, I don't know, let's call it CM. Yeah, but when you do that, so if I wanted to do another progression and save it into this same folder, I would have to do it exactly the same. I would have to do the YT dash and then name it. If you change it ever so slightly, so even if with the dash you do space dash space, then it will go into a different folder. Yeah, you have to do it exactly the same each time for it to go into the correct folder. Yeah, so find one way of doing it and stick to it. Now, the next bit here. So we know that if you remember from the last video, if you watched, we was in C minor. Yeah. So what we're going to do, it's not chromatic. We know that we're in minor. So the next important thing here, where it says root note, it says F. It says F1. And the reason why it says that is because it automatically assumes that when you write a chord progression, you start on the first chord of that scale. But that's not what we did. We're in the scale of C minor, but we started on the fourth, which was an F. Okay, so we're not in the scale of F minor, we're still in the scale of C minor. We just started on the fourth chord. So we need to change this F to a C. Yeah, that way it knows we're in C minor. Because if you leave that as F, once you save this now, when you go to use it, it's going to give you incorrect chords. It's going to think you're on the scale of F. So when you want to use it in your progression, you know in your head you're in C, but then when you go to pad perform, you would have to pull it into F. Yeah, if that makes sense. But you're not in F, you're in C. And then if you go to C, it's going to give you incorrect chords. So just see this bit here as what scale are you in. So we're going to leave it at C and leave that root there. That's fine because F there, that was the root. And then you press do it. Do it. And now from our progressions, come off minor chords, we've got this YT folder now, CM. And then same as a higher octave. This normally works better if you're doing more than 4 chords. But nonetheless, technically we only done 3 chords. But then if you wanted to rearrange it now, yeah. So then that's also the correct way how to save a chord progression. So not to long this one out, I believe that might be the last video in this series. So after this, we're not going to talk about chords and chord progressions. We're going to move on to something else. Who knows, we might come back later. But nonetheless, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you use my tool to make anything, please let me know. And take care. I will see you in the next video, whatever that's going to be about. I haven't decided yet. Take care. Peace out.